Welcome everyone to another edition of Food and Nutrition. Today's topic is seafood cookery. First, what is seafood cookery? Seafoods, they are creatures that lives in either fresh or salt water. They are broadly classified into two, namely the fin fish and the shellfish. The fin fish are fish with fins on their bodies, and they are further classified into two. Example of such is the two classifications of fin fish are white or lean fish and oily fish. White or lean fish and oily or fat fish. So the two major categories of what? Of fin fish. So let's see one seafood. This is one seafood. This is crayfish. This is crayfish. Crayfish is an example of seafood. Then this is a fin fish. Fin fish, they live inside the water and they have fins all around their body. This is a structure showing fin fish. What is white or lean fish? White or lean fish have white or lean fish use their liver as their storage organ. They do not store things between their fiber. The flesh of this kind of fish is white in color. The oil from the liver of such or some large fish is extracted and sold for medical use. For example, cod liver oil, halibut liver oil. The white fish are cod, halibut, tilapia, bream. So the major example of white fishes are cod, halibut, tilapia, bream. This is an example of white or lean fish. You can see how white they are. They have their liver, which they use in storing either their food or other products. Then we have another type of fish, which is called the oily or fat fish. Oily or fat fish, this is another type of fin fish, which have their fat stored all over their body, usually among the muscle fibers. Oily fish generally has dark looking flesh due to the presence of oil between the fiber. Examples of such fish are all kinds of herring, mackerel, and all kinds of sea bream and salmon. So let's see. This is an example of oily or fat fish. This is shark. So shark is oily or fat fish, and then you can see that its body is dark because of the oil that is present in their liver. Then we have another type of fish called the shellfish. Don't forget, we have two types of fish. We have the fin fish and then we have the shellfish. So, and then fin fish are categorized into oily or fat fish and lean or white fish. So now we are talking about the shellfish. The shellfish have protective covering of shell. They are divided into two. Example is the soft body and protected by shell, and then we have some that are segmented and they have cross-like shell. So we have the soft body that are protected by their shell, And then we have segmented shellfish, which has crust-like shell. So these are the two categories of shellfish. So let's talk about the soft body shellfish. They have a soft body and protected by a shell. Examples are oysters, mollusk, clam, and scallops. The segmented type of shellfish, they have segmented cross-like shell. Example of segmented fish are lobster, shrimps, crab, and crayfish. So this is a typical example of shellfish, that is the mollusk. They actually find inside the sea. Then this is an example of segmented shellfish. This is crab. This is crab. Is segmented shellfish. Food values of fish. Why are fish very important? Number one, they contain protein. Fish contain a large portion of proteins, therefore it is a valuable bodybuilding food. As we all know that protein are bodybuilder, they supply blood to the body. So fish contains protein, which helps to build our body and repair worn-out tissues of the body. Then dried fish has high food value because it weighs more protein than the fresh fish. Fish also contains fat. Oily fish has more value. The oily fish is more valuable than white fish because the fat content, which is rich in vitamin A and D, is distributed throughout the flesh of oily fish. But in white fish, the fat is around only the liver, which is digested. And this kind of fish is suitable for the invalids, that is people that are sick in the hospital, that are in hospital bed. It is good for the invalids and the convalescents. That is some people that are just recovering. They are still in the hospital bed, but they are still recovering. So this type of fish is good for both the invalids and the convalescents patients in the hospital. We have some other food values of fish. The next one is the vitamin. Oily fish is rich in vitamin A and D. We know that vitamin A prevents night blindness and vitamin D prevents rickets. Then water is more abundant in white fish than the oily fish. We all know the importance of water in the body. It aids digestion. And then 70% of our body consists of water, so we need water to survive. So white fish give us more water than oily fish. Then under food nutrients found in fish is a mineral salt. Calcium is present in bones of the fish and in snails. So whenever you're eating your fish, don't throw away the bone. You can eat the bone of the fish. It will give you calcium. Fish cut. This is the different ways to which whole fish is cut in preparation for cooking. For example, whole or round fish, just as taken from the water and marketed, we just cut it round. Then we have the done fish. The internal organ have been removed, so you can remove the internal organ of your fish before you cut it, or you cut it straight away as it's being sold to you from the market. So here is an image showing fish cut that is whole or round, just as it's being sold to you in the market. You just cut it round. This is one way you can cut fish. Then you can also cut your fish this way by first removing all the internal organs. Look at this image. This fish is cut this way. The internal organ has been removed. So this is another way of cutting your fish. Then fish cut dressed up hand. Dressed fish have scales, head, tail, fin removed. That is, if you want to cut your fish according to dressed pattern, the scale, the head, the tail, and the fins of the fish will be removed before you cut them. Then the stick, cross section of the fish is sliced from a large dressed fish. This is common. That is, streak contains dressed fish. That means you first dress the fish, then you now cut the cross section. You slice it from a large dressed fish. This is common way of cutting fish before cooking with many families and food sellers. Then the next fish cut is called the fillet. The fillet is when the side of the fish is cut lengthwise from the backbone. This kind of cutting, the fish that are used for fillets are usually practically boneless. So this is an image of a fillet. They cut it lengthwise. It's boneless. So this is fillet. So let's consider factors to consider when choosing seafood. Number 1, fresh fish has no unpleasant smell. So that means when you want to buy your fish, check for the smell. If it has unpleasant smell, it means it's not a fresh fish. The eyes are prominent and bright. Check for the eyes of the fish. If the eyes is bright and prominent, it means it's fresh fish. It is not charred fish. Some fishes must have been in the freezer for a few days and probably there's no light, so the fish has thawed. Then the seller refreeze it again, then brings to the market. That is not fresh fish, that is thawed fish. Such kind of fish, they don't have prominent or bright eyes. Then the gills are bright red. That is what you should look for in your fresh fish. The scales are bright and plentiful. The flesh is firm, not flabby, and the body is stiff. This is how you know your fresh fish. Frozen fish should be solidified frozen when purchased. These are the factors you look out for when you want to buy your fish. The method of cooking fish, we have frying method, which is very popular. Reason for coating your fish before frying. Some people don't coat their fish anyway, but you can also coat the fish before you fry it. And the reasons are to prevent the fish from being in direct contact with hot oil, to keep the shape of the fish, then to conserve the nutrients in the fish. So that means if you want your nutrients to be conserved, you have to cook the fish. Remember that when you apply too much of heat on proteinous food, the nutrient is denatured, that is, the nutrient is reduced. So for you to retain the nutrient content in your fish, you have to coat it. Then you can coat your fish with seasoned flour, for example. Flour to which salt and white pepper have been added, or you can coat your fish with egg and bread crumbs. You can coat your fish with butter. You can stew your fish. You can boil the fish. You can steam it. You can bake the fish. You can grill or roast the fish. So these are ways in which you can prepare your fish. So this is an example of, this is an image showing methods of cooking fish. Like the first image here shows grilling, probably in a commercial scale. This is another type of grilling, but the fish here is put under the grilling equipment. Then this is another method of cooking fish. The fish is put inside a pot and then put on a grilling equipment. These are local way of grilling. You can grill your fish using the microwave, it will be more hygienic there, because it won't be exposed to all this smoke, flame, carbon monoxide gas, which is dangerous to health. So you can grill your fish inside the microwave. Then this is another method of cooking fish. This is fillet anyway, so you can remove all the intestine inside. Then you now either roast it or you grill it. You can also put the grilled fish in the stick, so that means it becomes sticked fish. So these are various methods. There are many other methods of cooking fish. You can stew your fish, you can boil it, you can fry it. So but these are few images of how to cook your fish. So this image represents grilling and fillet fish. That is grilling method of cooking, and then how you can use fillet fish to produce stick fish. So here are some fish dishes that you can actually try out. The first one is fried fish. So I've said earlier, you can fry your fish, you can stew the fish, you can stuff the fish stick. That is stuffed fish stick. Fish forcement. Fish cake. You can make fish cake. You can steam. You can make steam sole. You can grill the fish. I have showed you earlier here. This is grilling. This is grilling method. Then this is stick fish. Then you can use fish fillet in milk. That is for invalids. Then you can make fish pudding. You can make crab salad. So here are images of different fish dishes. This is curry fish dish. This is pepper soup. This one is made with catfish. This is crunchy fish. This is actually coated and fried. So this is fried crunchy fish. Then this is fish dish. Then this is stick fish. This is stewed fish. Then this is another stick prawn. This one is prawn. This is prawn. Then this is fried fish. This is coated as well, but not like this. This is fried fish. So these are different ways in which you can prepare your fish, and these are different fish dishes. Then we have fish cake. You can actually use fish to make cake. So here are the list of the ingredients required. The first one, let me go through it. 250 grams of fish, 250 mashed yam, potato, 250 ml of water, sauce or 1 egg, a little flour, a tablespoon chopped parsley, that's optional, egg and breadcrumbs. Procedure: how do you do it? You remove the skin and bones from the fish, then you flake finely. That is, you flake the fish, or you chop it, or and then you mix with white or beaten egg season. You add smashed yam or potato. You spread the mixture on a plate, let it cool, and divide it into 6 portions. Shape into flat round cake using a little flour. So that means you use a round cup cake, as in that is cake cups. You use a little flour. Avoid using too much of flour or cake will crack when you fry it. Coat it with egg and crumb, then fry in hot oil till golden brown. You can serve and garnish it with sprig of parsley or tiny leaves of lettuce. So let's see how fish cake looks. This is fish cake. This is fish cake. So you can actually use fish to make cake. So this is another exciting fish dish. That will be the end of today's class. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. In Jesus' name, amen.